Today we're talking about Bad North. Initial release date August 20th, 2018, developed by Plausible Concept, published by Raw Fury, costs $15, and the platforms are PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. Bad North is a charming but brutal real-time tactics roguelite. Defend your idyllic island kingdom against a horde of Viking invaders as you lead the desperate exodus of your people. Command your loyal subjects to take full advantage of the unique shape of each island. So yeah, we can start it off. Yeah, I guess we'll just go through, give our initial impressions and how much you got to play. I guess I can start. But yeah, I played 13 hours. I beat the normal mode, and I forget how far I got into hard mode. I think I got like halfway, and then I died. Yeah, I've got some stuff to say about this game. I think my initial impression was that it is really polished, and it's a really fun, casual game. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't really know about how much long-term playability it's going to have, and I've also got some stuff to say about like the game design for like later in the game. But overall, I had a fun time with it. I think it's a fun kind of casual RTS, and you don't see a lot of those. All right, next, go.
I'll go. I liked it a lot. I played it on the Switch. I don't know how many hours I got onto it, but I definitely have not beat it yet. I keep struggling and just dying. Like after I get over 6 units or something around that time, I just die all the time. But I think my favorite thing from this game is how it takes just the micro aspects of an RTS and pretty much just tries to capitalize around that and just like moving units around constantly. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Next.
I really enjoyed this game. I also don't know how long I've played. I have it on Switch. I've had it since the day it released. I've really enjoyed this game, but I also have not beaten it. I've gotten to 95% complete on normal, and I've gotten to 85% complete on hard, but I've actually never completed either version.
Wait, you can see a percentage?
Yeah, when you die, it tells you your percentage.
Ah, shit, I totally missed that.
So you'll know how far you've gotten. The closest I got was 2 islands away from the final island, and then I failed.
Man.
I just completely fell apart.
Did you introduce yourself?
I'm Mitch, by the way.
Hi, Mitch.
Hi, Mitch,
No.
by the way.
Nobody
Were we supposed to?
cares.
Wow.
I think at this point we don't really need to do it.
They can probably tell our voices apart if they've been listening, which no one has, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's a fair point, though. If no one's been listening, maybe we should introduce ourselves every time.
Exactly.
You don't want them to have to go through the whole thing to know the lore of who we are.
Lord.
All right, so who's next?
I'm Carly. I played this very sporadically. I played on normal and got a few islands in, and then Mitch recommended that I try hard, and then I kept dying really fast.
Good job, Mitch.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend starting on hard.
It's what it says. By default, the game starts on hard.
Well, fuck that.
You have to manually change to normal.
Well, I changed it normal.
I did not have to manually change it to normal.
Yeah, I picked it. in the
No,
beginning.
maybe they changed it. Maybe because by default, when the game first launched, the default game was hard.
Oh.
Because they've updated the game a lot since it's released. There's been a lot of small changes.
When was its release? Was this already mentioned?
Yeah, it was August 20th
Okay.
this year.
So I thought the art of it was really nice. I like that it was small, like Nick was saying. Like, it's not like super complicated or anything, but you have to be kind of strategic in order to be really good at it.
Yeah, I really liked how I don't know if everybody's introduced themselves, but I really liked how every unit kind of had their own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, it's surprisingly with only 3 types of units, you can get a lot of variety in how you build each class based on your upgrades and then the items you get.
I don't know how much I played because I got it on Discord before it was out on Steam.
And you also played it a bunch at my place before it was out.
That too. I had never gotten to the end of the island or to the last island in hard or normal. I don't really know. if I've played much normal, I can't remember. I think, just have it on hard. But I always get screwed when I get to like the giant archers.
The giant archers are definitely the worst fucking enemy in this game.
All right.
Nope.
Did you say nope?
Oh, sorry, Charlie. Nope.
I'm Marcus. I bought it today. I played for half an hour, and yeah, it defaulted me to normal, and I noticed that it was normal. I don't know. I got it on PC though. If I had known it was on Switch, I probably would have gotten it there. But oh well. I was just zoomed all the way out because you just play it entirely with the mouse. Just zoom out and just flick, and I was just letting the island spin like crazy. And I was like, "There's a boat," and I was just like, I felt like I had no strategy. I was just like, "Okay, I'm gonna deploy 4 people as many times as I possibly can, and just have everyone swarming every point of dock is there, so then they just murder them as quickly as possible." And that's the entire strategy I went with. Yeah.
That's basically, I feel like, how everyone starts the game, and then slowly you.
Well, that's because your
Change your
guys
strategy.
start out with nothing, and the enemies coming in are just the basic types. So that's basically what you have to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is an RTS game where you command squads of these little guys, the little blue guys or whatever color they are, and you go from island to island in this kind of faster than light, being chased by this horde of Vikings, and you go island by island and try to save as many of these homes as you can, because the homes give you gold. Gold lets you upgrade your people. The islands can also have like other squads that you can pick up along the way. You can have items that you can also upgrade, and your units like gain special abilities depending on which subclass you pick. And each subclass has its strengths and weaknesses. And I'm really interested to see hear what kind of strategies you guys used, because I didn't use the special abilities very much. I kind of just upgraded my people and just did that.
So basically, from the start, like when I started the game, I had a pretty good, clear picture of like the composition of the units I wanted to use. And what I did for like the max 4 units that you're allowed on an island was go 2 archers, a spear group, and the sword and board dudes. And that was pretty much my composition the whole time, and pretty much trying to get a second group of that so I could have 2 sets of my guys rolling out.
That's very different than what I normally did.
It's pretty different from what I did, but I can see how that would be good because I started using like the arrow barrage a lot.
The arrow barrage is very useful.
Well, I thought it was useful because with the archers, you can pretty much kill like 90% of the boats before it reaches shore. So then, like, I would have just the spearman and the shield dude just for blocking arrows for arrow boats coming in. What sort of compositions do you guys have?
For
But you
me,
can go.
it kind of changed. I didn't really keep the same strategy. A lot of it depended on the map, but I really like pikemen, or whatever they're called. Pikes.
The spearman, yeah.
They're really strong, but it really depends on the map setup. Like, if you have a map with high ground, then pikemen just are the best unit possible. But the thing is that pikemen are really weak to certain units like archers. Like archers just destroy pikemen. But I'd say generally my playstyle was 2 sword and shield units, 1 archer and 1 pikeman, and then depending on the map, sometimes it'd be 2 pikemen, 1 sword and shield, and 1 archer, or I don't know. But that's generally 2 shield guys, because sword and shield guys seemed like the most versatile unit, where they could do pretty much everything and like could help save your other units very easily.
That's where I was at. As far as I'd gotten, I'd gotten the pike people, and then as soon as I started seeing enemies with arrows, I was like, fuck, I need some shield people and some archers.
Yeah, I think the sword and shield are like generally just on average the most useful against most kinds of enemies, but against like certain types of enemies, they just get fucked. Generally, I would use 2 sets of sword and shield guys, 1 set of pikes, and 1 set of archers, and just use the archers to harass the shit out of as many guys as you can, and use the arrow barrage on like some of the harder enemies, because the arrow barrage can, like, depending on the level, obviously, you can almost take out just about anything if you time it correctly. And I did kind of like how timing was used in this, because the combat never stops, which I kind of like, but it does like slow down drastically when you click on guys. And yeah, I would kind of just like try to bottleneck them as much as possible with my spear guys, and that was like my entire strategy. And just send the shield guys out if they had archers or pretty much anything. Otherwise, just hide behind the pikes.
Yeah, I kind of like, I would say for me, archers were the most effective compared to just the shield, the sword and board guys in my playthroughs. Like my last playthrough, I got up to the giant archers with no problem. Though that's probably where it would be useful to have two groups of actually sword and board guys. So shit, now I might change my strategy.
Yeah, they're always useful to send out like closest to the shoreline so that the fucking giant artillery guys, the bow and arrow giants, just shoot them, and for the most part they can just kind of absorb that. And then as soon as they get to the shoreline, they've got like no protection against the sword and shield guys.
What about anyone else? What sort of strats did you guys use? Noah? Or Carly?
Nobody else played the game.
All right.
Some of the things that annoyed me about it were I felt like was...
I don't want to get too far away from strategy.
Okay.
Because another resource, it's not just about your units, it's also about the money and how you spend it.
And the items you get and who you assign those items to.
I would definitely say the items you get has a huge effect on how you build your squads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell yet how to spend my money. Like, if I upgrade my units as much as I can to, like, be elite units, and if I should just, like, dump all my money into one person until, like, I get them high enough, or if I distribute my money amongst everyone and just level them all equally. I don't know.
I generally distribute my money relatively equally, but I also really like getting elite units early because elite units are really good. The only problem is that if you lose it, you just lost all of your money.
Yeah.
Because I have like spent a ton of money into an elite unit, and then as soon as I purchased them as an elite unit, they died the next turn. And then I just wasted like the last 12 battles worth of gold.
Time to start the game over.
Yeah, basically.
That's one thing that I actually kind of didn't like. One of the problems I had with it is that it felt like there was almost no incentive to use like your B team, like the extra guys that you pick up, like the guys that you don't invest as much money into. Once you get kind of late game, like if some of your main people die, or if God forbid you lose, then you bring up your B team who are all like level 1 or 2 maybe, and you might as well just quit then because there's not much you can do about it. Which
what I
thought
started doing is trying to make sure that each team had 2 really good units and 2 really bad units, and then each team is then more balanced when you're like alternating. But the problem is that you need to get 8 people before you can really have 2 solid teams, because you can't always win with 3 units. Some maps are like impossible if you only have 3 units.
My last playthrough, I literally lost, like, right before we started this. I had 7 units, 3 of them were all elite, and the other 4 were, like, somewhat up there. But, like, I tried splitting them up, and I just fucking died on the next two islands.
I feel like it's a huge risk to start doing 2 encounters per turn, because you don't have a full unit set, and not having a full set of units can be devastating.
Yeah, especially when the Vikings start coming from all sides simultaneously.
Yeah.
You're just busy at one side of the island, they just come from somewhere else.
It's also like once you start getting later game, you don't even really have a choice in what units you get, because they usually come pre-assigned.
Yep. I like that, because less money to spend.
Yeah, that is nice.
And they come with like a good chunk of money.
I like how they sometimes come with like 11 coins or something towards the end. But
yeah,
it is sad that you can't actually choose what classes you get then, though.
Yeah. All the maps are procedurally generated, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked some of the layouts of the islands. My favorite type of island is like the more vertical islands.
Oh yeah.
When there's lots of height. And especially when all the houses are on top of that, and just like there's one pathway that they have
Then
to
you
go
just
up.
like stick your pikeman there, and you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
this is an easy game.
Just stand there the whole
One
time.
thing I will say about the randomly generated islands is it sometimes gets to a point where you have like this one weird cave, and you don't really know like all of the pathways on the island. So there were a few times where I like set up my guys, and then the enemy just like goes in this one random spot and pops out and is like, surprise, motherfucker, and just murders everybody.
I've had that happen once.
So you just got to be like, maybe you got to have your guys like walk around the island a bit so that you know like all the pathways and you're not surprised by anything. But yeah, I really liked the randomly generated nature of it, and I liked the art style. I thought it was really good. I thought it was very simple, and I thought it looked really polished.
Yeah, I really enjoy the art style they have gone for. But the procedural generation of like both the names, the character images, and the maps, like all of that combined, works really well together. So it just always feels like you're getting a slightly brand new experience, even if it's going to be very similar to the time before.
Yeah, I think it seems a little bit too similar. Like I've played like probably 3 or 4 games, maybe 5. I feel like there needs to be more of a, I don't know what I would add to make this game more replayable, but it's I feel like I'm more or less through with it. Like I might do another couple of runs on hard mode, but beyond that, I don't think there's a lot of like staying power to this game. Like it's a fun game, and I think I'm not really sure whether it's worth $15. I think it was probably worth it, but overall,
How long did it take you to beat the game?
maybe like 3 or 4 games on normal. I'm not sure how long it was on either one of them. I've only played like a couple of games of hard mode, so maybe like 10 or 11 hours to beat the game.
Okay.
I think this game, if you can get it on the Switch, it's a good Switch game.
I
Because
would
it's like
definitely agree with that.
it's a thing that you could just play for a few minutes or something, just like do 1 or 2 islands and then do something else or whatever. It's a good like traveling game, I think.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that because it's a very low maintenance game. It could run on my garbage laptop, and it definitely does, like, just based on how you click the units and move around. It feels very mobile game-y, and not in a bad way.
That's something I actually wanted to ask. On the Switch, does it use real controls or can you use touchscreen? Because
You can use. Yep.
yeah, it's like I could see this being on mobile, and yeah, not in a bad way. It seems
Honestly,
like
that's
it would
one of
fit.
the reasons I really like this game is because it's so portable. I don't really not like portable games generally, but I think this is a really perfect game for the Switch. I can just pick it up, play one island, and then put it away.
It's
and then-
appropriately sized.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm going to go
you-
back on that. I think it is worth $15. I was kind of waffling on that, but
Definitely worth it if you can get it on sale, like completely.
yeah, if it was on sale for like $10, I'd be like, no question. I mean, if you don't really like RTS kind of strategic games, maybe don't get it. But if you do,
It's also a fun game to watch other people play because, like, I was having fun watching Mitch play it in Noah and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think it definitely could be because despite how kind of simple it seems when you're playing it, there's quite a bit of like strategy to it. Like I said, I didn't use the special abilities or like that very much. And there's a lot of like different ways that you can play depending on like what items you give to what squads. My first game, I got very close to beating the game on that one. I think I got to the last island on that one, but that's because I gave the item that like makes your squad size bigger to a squad of sword and shield guys, and then I just upgraded them as quickly as possible while still like kind of keeping everybody else up to scratch. And then that was kind of my strategy, was just run around the island with them, just beating everybody down.
Yeah, the Ring of Command is by far, I think, the best item. I don't think there's anything personally better than the Ring of Command.
and what does
I
Ring of
do
Command
like the horn as well. I think that's also really good.
What do these things
The
do?
Ring of Command adds extra units to your squad, and so you can keep upgrading the Ring of Command so that you can actually have more than double the original size of your unit. And then the horn allows you to call by default 2 units from a house, and then each time you upgrade it, you get more units from a house when you
Is
call
it? Is it 2 guys from a house? I thought it was like it automatically like gets everybody back from your squad.
Oh, it's not everybody.
I thought it was.
Because when you
Maybe
upgrade
I'm-
it, it increases the number of people that will come out.
Okay. Maybe I'm remembering that incorrectly. Probably am.
But the ring, it actually like doubles your army if you upgrade it all the way.
If you
Yeah.
upgrade it all the way, it's more than double your army.
More
It's
than
quite a
double?
bit of
Wow,
gold
okay.
to upgrade, but
Yeah, I didn't upgrade it at all because like the first one was little enough, and I like upgrading all the other stuff more. So like I never invested in it.
I also in a different game gave it to my archers and just got this huge squad of archers, and if I used the arrow barrage on them, it just it would murder
archers
anything.
with the Ring of Command is amazing, as well as the Sword and Shield guys with Ring of Command. Those are definitely the best options. in my opinion.
Pikemen, it's not quite as good. I haven't actually used it on pikemen, but I would assume it's not quite as good because pikemen are just good as long as you have the enemies coming from one direction or you got them at like a choke point.
Yeah.
My favorite item was the sledgehammer. Actually, that was the one that I used the most.
That's funny because personally, that's one of my least favorite.
Well, I liked it a lot because like my archers would mostly take care of like everybody except for the people with the shield and boards coming to the island. So then I would just have my sword and board guy who I had it equipped to just wait for their guys, and then I just jump and they all go in the water and it's just insta wipe.
Oh, that's true. I haven't really tried that strategy.
Oh yeah, that's the only way I try to use it to knock people into the water, because you can easily kill like 10 or 15 guys that way.
Just like instantly push them all straight into the water.
Yeah, you have to like strategically use it because of how
Yeah.
your guy jumps in, and then it's like a blast zone.
How did you guys feel about? Okay, so every class has like their skill, and then you can also upgrade them to like veteran and elite status. And so the sword and shield guys have the jump off the ledge. The arrow people have the barrage, and then the pikemen have the charge. Personally, I felt like they were good except for the sword and shield guys jumping off the ledge. I felt like that was completely useless.
I think
Yeah, I never
all
used
the
that.
skills are good but not needed, and I disagree. I think the sword guys are actually pretty good. I don't think it's as good as the other two, but I still think that it's pretty good. Because I tried it and used it a bunch on I think my second playthrough, and it killed a lot of dudes. I don't know. But yeah, otherwise after a couple runs I just kind of not really bothered getting it except for the barrage.
I usually get barrage, and then I get charge on usually one of my pikemen, because charge can be super useful at killing
Yeah.
a lot of units quickly.
I just never bothered upgrading them afterwards. I don't know. I just think the other upgrades are more important to spend your money on.
This is where one of those. I think the more I play this game, the more my strategy will change as I try out different things. Because I feel like even though there's not a ton of depth to this game, I feel like there's enough that you can drastically change how you play by just a few upgrade changes, or just changing your unit diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder. I want to do like just a stupid run and just try to get like just all sword and board guys or something. Just level them all to elite.
Do you guys know what the number? So I'm on the game right now, but I don't remember what the default number of units is before the Ring of Command. Do you guys
Is
know?
it like 9?
That's
Yeah, I
what
thought it was
think.
Yeah,
fine.
it's
I thought it was
fine.
7.
Okay. I think you're right about 9. So when you get the Ring of Command, it increases the maximum squad size to 12. So you get 3 extra. So it's a 25% increase.
Yeah.
And then if you upgrade it again
That would
to
be a 33.
Or yeah.
33%. If you upgrade it again to the Ring of Command level 2, then you go from 12 to 16 units, and then you upgrade it again and you go to 20. So you actually have
So you get 30% each time.
So when you have it fully upgraded, you're actually at 20 units where the default's 9. So you do have double size.
Damn. I should
Ring of
that,
Command
I should try that next time. Try level 9.
really good with archers and with
Sword and shield.
sword shield.
Yeah. Nice.
I've done it once with pikemen, and it makes pikemen better because it makes them easier to survive being attacked. But it didn't seem as beneficial because really all it did was keep the unit alive longer. It
Hmm.
didn't really.
With the Ring of Command?
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly I never gave the Ring of Command to the pikemen because I just didn't think it would be as good. I always gave the horn to the pikemen because it always seemed like a few of them would get taken out by like some arrows or like those pieces of shit with the shields that like throw stuff at you before they charge you.
Oh god.
And then I would just like replenish them like every little bit.
Yeah.
And that seemed to
That's
work
pretty
out
much what I
pretty
did with
good.
the horns too. Horns
Same.
on pikemen seemed really good.
But beyond that, I didn't really use any of the other ones like a ton because I mean, I sometimes would give like the bombs to the archers, or I don't know. I would just kind of give those to the guys that weren't like my main squads.
Yeah. What kind of items is there? Is it just the horn, bomb, a sledgehammer, and the ring?
And ring command. I think it's just those 4.
Just those 4. Okay. And also, is there any other extra type of enemies beyond the giant archers?
No, I think it's just like the giants with the swords, giants with the bows and arrows. There's the basic kind of guys who don't have shields, and then there's like 3
Upgrade the
different versions.
tiers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
there's 3
like
tiers of shield guys.
yeah, there's the ones that have like they throw the stuff, and then there's kind of just their basic shield guys, and then there's like the tier 3 like asshole guys. Like when I first started fighting those guys, oh man, they fucked me up because I didn't realize that like you need
They're
to be really
super
careful.
fucking strong.
Yeah, you need to be very careful about
Uh,
having to fight them.
when you get to the giants with the arrows the first time, how far is that into the game?
For me, it's usually in the last 25% of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like
that's
to be
kinda close.
somewhere between like halfway to like a quarter to the end of the game.
Okay. Shit.
I actually don't know what the main differences between medium and hard are. I don't actually know
the
the
number of
difference.
units that come against you,
Oh, it's just the number of units. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's all it changes. Because in hard, you fight a fuck ton more units.
Yeah, definitely seems like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say I kind of wish the start of the game was a little quicker at picking up,
Yeah, I would agree with that.
especially like how many times I've already restarted with playthroughs. Like I kind of wish you just get like 4 guys right away or something.
Something I wish that they had in this game is like every other kind of real-time strategy like roguelike that's kind of like this, where you have a speed increaser. Like if you want to play it at like 2 times speed, I wish there was that.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
definitely
that
think
too.
they need that. 'Cause
Like
sometimes I feel like
think-
you're just sitting there waiting for them to show
Yeah,
up.
you're just waiting for the next boat to come, especially early in the game. And it's just like the basic guys where you could literally just have your guys stand in the middle of the island and you would
Yeah.
probably win.
It'd be like just give me them all at once.
Mhm.
Win.
Yeah. I do kind of wish they had something like that, but it would really only be something that you would use like some of the time. Maybe it's like you can increase the speed by like 10, 20, 30%. Like you wouldn't want it like at 2 times speed, I think, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was there anything in the game that you guys hated?
Like really the only main problem I had with it is kind of the design, with like spending all your time on just like a couple of guys and not really having an incentive to use more guys. Like I know that you can have like defend multiple islands in like a quote unquote like day or turn, but I rarely did that, and it always seemed like the better strategy is to just do it kind of slower with a kind of core group of guys. So I guess I kind of wish they had like more reason to like use different squads. I don't know. I might just be bad at the game.
Hey, you beat it once at least.
I beat
Yeah,
it on
I
normal.
also beat
Not
it.
I haven't
on-
beat it yet.
Yeah.
Anything
Normal was
you
kind of
did?
on the final island. It was kind of difficult, and I actually do like that on the final island. You're like using all the kind of strategy and stuff to just try to not get fucked.
Trying to not get fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing that I do not like about this game, which has happened to me multiple times, is that it's too easy to deploy on accident.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
notice that too.
Yeah.
Because I have accidentally deployed a single unit so many times, and then
Yes.
it's just like, well, I have to just wait until I can hopefully run this guy away, but usually he just dies.
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
on the
then
Switch, the
because of
control's
that,
weird.
oh yeah, it's especially because of the Switch, and I feel like because I've lost so many runs because I've accidentally deployed units on an island that I didn't want to deploy units onto.
It's also easy to just like drop a unit from your team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if there was like a thing where if it's before the first boat has landed, you can just like quit a run and redo it or something. I feel like that would
I
fix.
really
a lot
wish
of
that would be there.
Yeah,
Or have
I
abandoned
don't think it's
island.
just on Switch because I've also almost done the same thing several times, but maybe it's just worse on Switch.
I mean, they could do an abandoned island, which is you cannot return
They
to
do.
it. Like you leave as it currently is.
They already do.
Oh,
But
they do.
You lose your unit
Yep.
when you abandon island.
You
Yeah.
first need you lose the unit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do the
No,
thing.
you can
where-
flee. You can.
Well, yeah. If you
take a
flee and then
boat.
abandon island, yes, you can do it that way.
Don't you need like an empty boat for them to flee?
Yeah, so you need to at least
You
kill.
need to kill some units first. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to wait until like the first boat gets there. And then
Oh, that's
so-
whatever.
Yep.
I mean, because it happens by poor controls, then there should be an out for it. But whatever.
Yeah.
And also, if you abandon an island, all of the buildings are going to get burned, and you can't get anything from that island.
Right, but I mean, if you're going to abandon an island, I think that's a fair trade-off.
Yeah, it's a reasonable trade-off.
I mean, it's like I don't go to every island. I go to one, and then I'm going to move forward. I'm not trying to hit every island. That's not my goal.
It's not possible to.
Right.
At some point.
Yeah, kind of later in the game, you kind of want to like hit as many islands as you can to like get as many upgrades as you can before you hit the last island. But yeah, it's not really feasible to go after every single one.
Yeah. As you get further and you have more units, and you can take more than one island in a turn, then you can definitely start focusing more on like, hey, I'm gonna go to the islands with more buildings, get more gold, and upgrade more units. But in the early game, it's just like I just need to keep moving because the wave is right there.
Speaking of which, Mitch, you said you bought this game like really early.
I bought it an hour after release.
How
Wow.
much has changed?
A decent amount has changed since release. Not a lot of extremely noticeable things, but there's a lot of weird buggy stuff when it first released with like
Okay.
some units. It used to be the banner guy. So when you're in, there's that guy who has like the banner or whatever, who's like the commander of each unit.
Yep.
So he can't die. He has to die last. Well, maybe they changed it now. But before, he couldn't die. So if you fled and so half your group got there, but your banner guy didn't get there, the banner guy could get caught by other units. And then endlessly they would try to kill him, but they couldn't kill him because he had to die last. And then you would be stuck on the island forever because he couldn't get to the boat.
Okay.
And that was really annoying. There's a few other things like that. Weird UI issues. But they also updated a lot of the UI.
So it's just bug fixes.
They also, I think, okay, so you guys talked about the shield guy who throws swords.
Yeah.
Or
I'm pretty
axes or
sure
whatever.
he was added. I don't think he was in the original release because every time I played, one day when I was playing like 2 weeks ago, when I came back to the game, I saw those guys and I was really, really confused. I was like, what just happened? Why did all my pikemen just get killed? Because I wasn't paying attention and I had never seen anything like that. So I'm pretty sure they're a new unit. I also think that giant archers are also a new unit, but I'm not sure about that.
You just never got that far. It's okay, Mitch.
And then they made a bunch of changes to the UI, like being able to press, well, on the Switch, you can like now press X to like go to the unit upgrade screen. That didn't used to exist. And they added a bunch of small like flourishes, like detail stuff that doesn't add anything.
When you said flourishes, I thought you meant literally like with the Switch controls. Like you
No.
shake it.
Not like that.
You pause by shaking violently.
The core gameplay really has not changed at all. I just think it's a few units that they added. They also seem to change the island generation scheme, like how the map generates. So like when I first started the game, it seemed more linear. Like you kind of got led up and down, and there were some spots that like broke up. But now it seems to be almost always more like a solid block of islands, all the way across.
Okay.
So it like the updates have made the game better, but they're all very small.
Which is how updates should be done. Probably.
Is there something we missed? Music.
I don't remember
Mostly
very much about
relaxing.
the music.
I think it was just like minimal and relaxing and just not.
Yeah,
a
there's
whole
not
lot.
a lot to it.
Ambient.
I was in a panic to how much time I had, so I had Dance Till You're Dead Doggo, the 10-hour version, playing the entire time, like at max volume. So I was just like, ah.
There- Yeah, there's just this like nice little tavern sounding song like every time you just like win an island.
I like the music, but I definitely don't think there's enough variety. It gets kind of boring in a while.
Not very memorable.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the sound design they do have is pretty good though.
Yeah.
Like all your people have their like little like when you click on them, they're like ha, and you got like the horns and stuff in the background, and it's all very like ambient, and the sounds of like the fighting stuff sounds really good, and it really fits with the art style. And it's all very kind of exaggerated and cartoony.
I'm trying to find if they have like a update log, but I don't see anything on their website about that.
Speaking of update log, we need to play some fucking Deep Rock Galactic, because I'm pretty sure that's had like a dozen updates since we played it last.
Yeah, I haven't played that in a while.
Yeah, me neither. Haven't even seen those flying bastards. Yeah, I'm all out of. I didn't expect this one to take very long because it's a bit of a simple game, but
Yeah. Oh,
that certainly doesn't mean bad.
I do say one last thing that I think is really good game design is like in the later levels is the frequency as they're throwing Vikings at you. If it's like a really good pace of you keeping on your toes, of moving your units around and keeping an eye on everything, and like shifting your units around, and like having to make that quick decision in your head, like I need archers over here along with pikemen, and then like sword and board guys over here with a set of archers or something. And it doesn't feel overwhelming where like you might miss a gap and Vikings just tear the shit out of your buildings, something like that. I think they did a good job like making a steady pace.
Yeah, I agree what you're saying about like there's definitely a lot of strategy involved in determining like based on what unit's coming. Oh, I'm gonna move these certain units over here to do that, and then or these over here to this side because of the different unit style. I think I really like the overall gameplay and the level of strategy required, and I think it just makes it very interesting.
Yeah, I also like how it's kind of you can kind of decide whether or not you want to like defend the houses, because like there are a lot of cases where like most of your houses will be on this mountain, but maybe one of them is like not on the mountain, and it's a lot harder to defend. So if it's like a very difficult fight, you might just be like, you know what, fuck that house. We're defending this mountain, and we're not getting off of it because there are too many damn Vikings around.
There's quite a few times where I've been like, yeah, that building I'm gonna defend until it's not really a priority anymore. Like you pretend that you're gonna defend it, but you really know deep down
that you're gonna retreat soon.
Yeah. So you try for a little bit. Also, I did find the patch notes, and so they've updated it at least 5 times to 1.05. But some of this does not look like the version I have. Like the map is different in this.
Did anyone think of anything else? Noah?
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, it's good. I don't know. I definitely don't think this is a game I'll come back to much, because I mean, other than just trying out different combinations, like it's something I might pick up once in a while if I have like 20 minutes or something. But other than that, I don't think I'm gonna touch this game a whole lot more.
Yeah, that's where, as we said before, good Switch game. Easy to pick up and put down.
Yeah, as a primarily PC gamer, it definitely doesn't quite have the complexity or the replayability to like commit a bunch of time to, but it's definitely a fun game, and I can definitely see how it would be a lot better on the go or on a Switch. Unfortunately, I actually don't think I'll be able to play this on the go because it doesn't work on Mac OS. So unless I get a different laptop, it's not going to work.
Shit.
But maybe, right. So if I
When you
if I
get a
got
Switch,
Discord on my Mac, would I be able to play it off there?
probably. Well, I guess it
Probably, yeah.
depends if they made it Mac compatible, but there's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't actually know. That's something that would be interesting to find out. But beyond that, I'm about done. What do you guys think? Do you think this is worth $15?
I'd say
I
so.
100% think it's worth $15.
Especially if you get it on the Switch, for sure.
Yes, definitely on the Switch. It's a Switch game. Get it on the Switch.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think I would agree. 15 is good.
Yeah, I didn't buy it on the Switch, but I still spent 12 hours on it, and for a $15 game, that's definitely got my money's worth. Yeah, it's a fun game, and
Check it out.
Check it out. You can buy it on Steam. You can buy it on Discord. That's something that I found kind of interesting because I didn't even know Discord was starting up a game store, but they are. So that's happening. Seems like everybody's starting a game store these
And they're all
days.
launchers. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what. So the patch 105 is only for PC. It's not for Switch.
Oh.
Oh, but 106 is coming out soon, and that's going to go to all platforms.
Okay.
They apparently added new stuff to the island generators in 105. So the island generation is even better now. New fire effects, some other new supports. They updated the map to look even nicer.
Maybe I'll check it out after the patch. Again.
Yeah, I need to check out Kingdoms and Castles because I know that they've also had updates and stuff. And
Good. Because that game needs it.
yeah, it does. But unless anybody has anything else to add, I can take us offline.
Just check us on our next podcast for Dark Souls series.
Yeah, Christmas Souls.
Yeah.
Because it'll be probably close to Christmas.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, probably be doing that towards the end of this month. And yeah, stay tuned. And we're off.